Nick Saban has tested positive for that Rona. And it's Sark Week. And all that's coming up after the bumper.
Don't be cornering me. Hold up. Time. You gotta help me with that corner shit.
What's up, kid folk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. Consider hitting the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. It's always college football related, sports related. We have a good time. Today, Greg Burns and Nick Saban both announced that they have tested positive for COVID-19. Now, the serious take here is that they are quarantining themselves. They immediately both went home, and Saban told the team over Zoom at about 2 o'clock Central Standard Time, I want them to be okay. Now that Nick Saban, who's 68, Les Miles, 66, have both contracted the virus. They are two of the 5 oldest coaches in college football. My first thought was, wrap Mac Brown in bubble wrap, secure him now. Like, for real. Like, that was my thing going back 6 months ago. I was going, yo, this seems to have a really dire effect on the elderly. And most college football coaches are elderly. So I really want them to be taken care of. That said, all I had was jokes after that. Because, like, while we can agree that this is a very serious, medical matter and public health crisis that we're in, the only thing that seems to be keeping us kind of sane is us getting our sports and us having some jokes, right? So, like, I wrote a couple, right? And I think I'm going to stop there because, there's only so much you can do out of this. But tried to tell y'all, Rona said you ain't an OG. Tell them to unmask that they messing with me. Rona running like Wishbone through the SEC, claim you the hardest, but this virus will disagree. COVID spells K to the I to the N to the G. Like, Rona said, knock, knock at the SEC door. Too short, blow the whistle. It just means more. From Alabama to Central Florida, mask up, I'ma kick it in, bruh. Like, this is wild because in a span of hours, we've had Florida call off its game against LSU because they've had an outbreak of the COVID. And we've had Alabama say, yo, Nick Saban, Greg Burns, they tested positive. Now, I'm sure that the rest of the college football staff over there is going to get tested. But what this also means is that it's Sark Week. Now, this also is wild because Steve Sarkisian hasn't run a football team in quite some time. And the last time he had to take a leave of absence to rehabilitate himself. And then he comes back as the offensive coordinator at Alabama after being an analyst. But Sarkisian is also coming off of heart surgery like this summer, and I think that part is getting conveniently forgotten. Now, he's cleared to be coaching on the sidelines, but I got to believe that Nick Saban is just going to be in his ear because, yo, man, they play Georgia in Bryant-Denny on Saturday. By the way, if you haven't already hammered Georgia, pause this video right now. Go hammer Georgia because Kirby Smart got to be feeling real good with the tongue out right about now. Talking about, oh, cool. Ain't no Nick Saban over there to chew everybody up every time they do something wrong. They're not now going to go how to act. Time for us to eat, baby. Now, I also think that this is wild interesting because I've never seen what an Alabama football team looks like without Nick Saban on the sideline. Nobody has. That's kind of the point here. But also added into this is, are those people actually going to know how to act? Like, what are they going to do without Coach Saban, all 5'6" of him stalking the sidelines, just yelling at people? Because that's the thing that he does. That's the thing that he does routinely. Like, Pete Golding might feel some kind of way. I hope Nick Saban got it in with the defensive backs this first 3 days, first 2.5 days. Because I felt like he was going to tell Carl Scott to have a seat and that he was going to tell Pete Golding, I got this. And he was going to run the defensive practices this week because after they gave up 647 yards to Ole Miss, an untold amount of yardage through the air, Kenny Yeboah still running, I had to think that Nick Saban, who was a defensive coach and a defensive back at heart, was like, no, not happening against Kirby Smart. But on the other hand, if you felt like Georgia was going to win this game and you felt like Nick Saban knew that they were going to win this game and you know that Nick Saban is 21-0 against his assistants, he can't lose to Nick Saban if he's not coaching the game. Roll safe, knowledge, you know what I mean? It's chess, not checkers. Channel your inner Alonzo, and you can get there real quick, fat ass, and in a hurry. You want to go to jail, you want to go home. You want to go to jail, you want to go home. It's October, right? this game doesn't actually do Alabama the disservice that it might for some other programs, because everybody knows that they're good and they still have a road to get back to the SEC championship in the SEC West, because this is a cross-divisional matchup. As I said, you want to go home, you want to go to jail. You want to go to jail, you want to go home, right? You want to go home, SEC championship game. That's the one that matters. That's the one. Make sure you get there. It's October, baby. Like, this is a glorified clash of titans that we get to see in the regular season. But this does not result in in-game for Georgia. It doesn't result in in-game for Alabama. And as much as I would like that to be true, it's just not going to be. Now, for Florida, I already went at them, right? I already went at them with the Glengarry Glen Ross on my Alec Baldwin. I love that movie. I love that scene, right? Because that's how Nick Saban is closing. Plus, if you Georgia, you got to feel good. You got Amarius Mims today, and you found out that Emperor Palpatine is not going to be on the sidelines. Like, now, if anything, you got to feel pressure to win this football game. But if you win this football game, there's going to be lots of people to be like, you didn't actually beat Alabama because Nick Saban wasn't on the sideline. Ugh, that's a rough place to be if you're Alabama right now. Now, again, I want them to be all right, and I want them to serve the quarantine process, come out of it in like 14 days, and everything just be all right? Like, that's what I want to happen. But knowing that Steve Sarkisian is running the show also means that, like, he's probably going to have this, like, little earbud in here where Nick Saban just got to yell. And I like to know that Nick Saban has a button that he, basically can buzz in. And there ain't no way that Steve Sarkisian can actually take that mug out, like it's implanted in there. Although that would be cool. Like, if Nick Saban was just blowing up his phone and Steve Sarkisian just one day, not one day, just on the sideline decided to dump it on the floor, stepping on it on national television, on CBS at 7 o'clock at night in front of Nick Saban and God and everybody. You want to talk about Nick Saban coming unglued? I need a camera on Nick Saban at his office. That's what needs to happen. Yo, Nick, at your home office, do us all this favor. Put a live feed in the corner. Miss Terry, make this happen. Put a live feed in the corner. And, even make it premium cable service. Because I will pay pay-per-view money to watch Nick Saban reacting to this game in real time. Like, I know how people want to do that with me. Like, people were like, RJ, you need to have the game on you, like, real time for all 4 hours of OU Texas. I'm like, nah, I don't want to give y'all that level of voyeurism. But I do it to Nick Saban, right? Like, I gave y'all the real-time reactions that I had during the overtime, and I cut up 40 minutes into, like, 7. So, again, I just want to get every ounce I can get out of this, because I'm very clear that I didn't think we should be playing football anyway. But since we're playing football, I'm going to talk about playing football and all of the storylines and threads that are coming up out of it. Because all of a sudden, Rona said, nah, SEC is mine. On some, look at me. I'm the captain now. Like, that's what the Rona just said. Baylor and Oklahoma State, like the big noon kickoff game, the marquee game for Fox is West Virginia, Kansas. Ain't nobody want to see no West Virginia, Kansas, and he ain't even got no Les Miles on the sideline. Like, it's getting bad real quick, fast, and in a hurry. Like, we gonna mess around and better pray and hope that this Alabama-Georgia game is here. Otherwise, it's gonna be rough. Deuces.